The beating of Senator Charles Sumner by Representative Preston Brooks on May 22, 1856, remains one of the most infamous moments in American political history. Taking place on the floor of the U.S. Senate, this brutal attack was not just a personal act of violence, but a reflection of the deepening sectional crisis over slavery. The incident shocked the nation and further inflamed tensions between the North and the South, setting the stage for the Civil War. The 1850s were a tumultuous period in American history, with the debate over slavery reaching new levels of intensity. The Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854 had effectively nullified the Missouri Compromise, allowing territories to decide for themselves whether to allow slavery. This led to violent conflict in Kansas, known as Bleeding Kansas, as pro-slavery and anti-slavery forces clashed over the territory's future. Charles Sumner, a senator from Massachusetts, was a leading voice in the abolitionist movement. He was known for his eloquence and passionate speeches condemning slavery and its supporters. One of his most scathing speeches, The Crime Against Kansas, directly attacked the institution of slavery and those who defended it, particularly Senator Andrew Butler of South Carolina, whom Sumner mocked for his pro-slavery stance and personal characteristics. Preston Brooks, a congressman from South Carolina and a relative of Butler, saw Sumner's speech as a grave insult to both his family and his state. In the South, honor was a crucial part of a man's reputation, and Brooks felt compelled to defend it. On May 22, 1856, just 2 days after Sumner delivered his fiery speech, Brooks entered the Senate chamber with a heavy gutta-percha cane. He approached Sumner, who was seated at his desk, and without warning began striking him repeatedly on the head and shoulders. Sumner, caught off guard and trapped by his desk, struggled to protect himself but was quickly overwhelmed. The attack was so severe that Sumner collapsed, bleeding profusely. Brooks continued his assault until his cane shattered, at which point he calmly walked away. Sumner was left unconscious, his injuries so severe that he would not fully return to the Senate for years. The caning of Sumner provoked outrage in the North and celebration in parts of the South. Many Northerners saw the attack as a symbol of Southern aggression and the dangers posed by the pro-slavery movement. Sumner became a martyr for the abolitionist cause, and his injuries only fueled the growing anti-slavery sentiment in the North. In the South, however, Brooks was hailed as a hero. He was sent dozens of new canes as gifts, some engraved with inscriptions like, "Hit him again." Many Southerners viewed his actions as a justified defense of honor against a Northern agitator. Politically, the incident deepened the divide between North and South. The Republican Party, which had recently formed with a strong anti-slavery platform, used the attack as evidence of the violent tendencies of the pro-slavery faction. The event also highlighted the failure of political discourse, as disagreements were now being settled not with debate, but with violence. Brooks was charged with assault, but received only a small fine. He resigned from Congress, but was quickly re-elected, further demonstrating the South's support for his actions. However, he died unexpectedly in 1857 at the age of 37. Sumner, on the other hand, endured a long and painful recovery. His injuries left him physically weakened, but his resolve was stronger than ever. When he finally returned to the Senate in 1859, he continued his fight against slavery with even greater intensity. The caning of Charles Sumner was more than just an act of violence. It was a reflection of the deep divisions tearing the nation apart. It illustrated the extremes to which pro-slavery forces were willing to go to silence opposition, and served as a stark warning of the violence that would soon engulf the country. Today, it remains a powerful reminder of the volatility of American politics and the high stakes of the battle over slavery in the years leading up to the Civil War.